again, everybody. This is Michael Dempsey for HorseBettingWorld.com. It's Preakness Day, and we're going to take a look at a couple of the races on the undercard, as well as I'm going to give you my long shot pick for the Preakness Stakes. So hopefully you're with us for Derby weekend. We had a great Oaks and Derby day. Of course, Animal Kingdom was my top pick in the Kentucky Derby. I also had Sassy Image, who paid better than $30 in the Humana Distaff. So hopefully the magic will work again this weekend. Big card on Black Eyed Susan Day, 13 races on Friday, another 13 races on Saturday, 26 races over the 2 days at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland. Of course, the highlight is the $1 million Preakness Stakes, where Animal Kingdom goes for the second jewel of the Triple Crown. Let's take a look at a couple of the races on the undercard on Saturday. The first one I'm going to take a look at is the 10th race. That's the William Donald Schaefer Memorial. It's a Grade 3 race. I'm going to go with number 8, Calazio, who was 7-2 in the morning line. This one set the early fractions, last out over what I thought was a pretty deep rail at Gulfstream Park, and the skip away, a Grade 3 race at Gulfstream Park. The colt did manage to earn a career top speed figure in that effort, and among the horses he beat that day was Drosselmeyer, who of course won the Belmont Stakes a few years ago and came back to win the 1 count in his next start at Belmont Park on May 15th. The colt owns a solid pace profile throughout, and I think Calazio is going to be has a good shot to win this race at 7-2. I'm going to play him with a couple of long shots in the race. I like number 4, No Advantage, who's 20-1 on the morning line. Also number 1, Researcher. Number 4, No Advantage, was beaten double-digit lengths in his last 2 starts. He faded to 3rd in the Johnson Memorial, at last out catching a sloppy track at Charlestown, and also checked in 8 in the race before that. This guy was second in this race last year at 24-1, and he won the race back in 2009 at 13-1. And it's not often we see runners from the Stephanie Beatty barn go off of these kind of prices. Hopefully she'll pull off a hat trick and finish in the money for the 3rd year in a row at a big price with No Advantage. So I'm going to use Calazio and No Advantage on top, using number 1, Researcher, and number 2, Apart in the bottom half of the exacta in Pimlico race 10. The 11th race is the Dixie Grade 2 race on the turf. The turf was yielding on Friday. It probably won't be much better on Saturday. This marks the return of Patio Prado, who makes his first start since finishing 5th in the Breeders' Cup Classic last November. The colt had a strong 3-year-old campaign. He won 4 stake races on the turf last year, including the Grade 1 Secretariat at Arlington Park, which was over a good ground labeled as good. And the colt has been working steadily at Churchill Downs. Dale Rome's is pretty good off the layoff. He's going to be tough. 4-5 in the morning line. He's probably going to go off at 2-5 or 3-5. So I'm going to look for a little bit of a price with number 8, Bim Bam, who didn't get much pace to run at last out in the Maker's Mark. He made a mile late rally after breaking slowly to finish 5th. The winner, Get Stormy, came back to win the Turf Classic at Churchill Downs in his next start on Derby Day. The colt has shown he can handle ground with some give to it, and he's 10-1 in the morning line. He's probably going to be closer to 5 or 6-1, because this 8-horse field may scratch down to 6. Number 3, Grand Rapport, is also entered Sunday at Belmont Park, and it looks like Gary Contessa is going to run him there. And also number 1, 8, Too Fast to Catch, is also entered in another race on the Pimlico card on Saturday, and that's probably where he's going to end up. So we may just see a field of 6 in that race. But Bim Bam gets the slight nod over Patio Prado. It's going to be a real short price in the race. The 12th race is the Preakness Stakes. I'm going to look for a little bit of a long shot. We had Animal Kingdom on top in the Derby. He paid $43.80. In the Preakness, he's going to be 2-1 or 5-2, so 660, 680 payoff isn't exactly going to get the pulse racing. So I'm going to look for a little bit more of a price with number 6, Sway Away, who couldn't even get into the Kentucky Derby because he didn't have enough graded earnings. He had 2 less than stellar trips at Oaklawn Park. He made his 3-year-old debut in the San Vicente in Southern California. He popped 101 buyer in that 7-furlong race, and we haven't seen a whole lot of triple-digit buyers amongst this crop of 3-year-olds. Then he went off to Oaklawn Park in the Rebel. That was his 2-turn debut. He was a bit fractious in the gate, was rank, and had to steady in the early going. He raced wide throughout, didn't really threaten in a 6th-place finish. He came back in the Arkansas Derby with P-Val in the irons. The colt broke outward, was a bit rank again in the early going, raced wide. He may have moved a little bit too soon. He weakened in the stretch to finish 4th. Narrow, of course, came out of that race to run 2nd in the Kentucky Derby. Also, Alternation, who was the 5th-place finisher, came back to win the Peter Pan in his next start at Belmont Park. The colt gets Garrett Gomez back, who was aboard for the San Vicente win, and I think Sway Away is 15-1 the morning line. Probably going to go off around 10-1 to 12-1, somewhere in that range. Maybe worth a good look here. Animal Kingdom is going to be tough to beat. I'm going to use those 2. I'm also going to take a look at number 4, Flashpoint. He tracked a sharp early pace and weakened to finish fourth last out in the Florida Derby. His Hutchinson was really a good-looking win. He now goes for Wesley Ward. He's going to be up front. You know, if he can shake loose early, he may stick around for a piece late. Dialed In, of course, is going for a $5.5 million bonus. And the ill-conceived Preakness 5.5 by Frank Stronach. He's actually running for more money than, of course, Animal Kingdom is, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He's going to have a $6.1 million payday if he happens to win this race. I'm not so sure he's really up to it. Nick Zito has really kind of babied this colt ever since the Florida Derby. And I think he looks like an underlay. It's 9-2 in the morning line. I think he's going to get bet a little bit. I think he's going to be more like 7-2 by the time I load him in the gate. And you know, he may show his late kick, and he's going to get some pace to run at. But I just think he's going to be an underlay in this spot. So I'm going to look to Sway Away as the long shot pick. Animal Kingdom's going to be really tough to beat. Of course, I'll be rooting for him because I certainly would like to see a triple crown. Make sure you stop by horsebettingworld.com. My full card report for Preakness Day is up. Also, make sure you check us out both on Facebook and Twitter. And all hail Pegasus. We'll see you at the Preakness.